get to the ballpark. It's not a way that I would take, but it is a way to get to the ballpark.
Not my mode of transportation either.
If only we had the courage. Imagine the views. A.J. Hinch took over when Bob Melvin was relieved of his duties earlier this year. And they are 10 games under 500 with A.J. in charge, former big league catcher. Here's his lineup tonight. Stephen Drew, Gerardo Parra, Justin Upton in the 3-hole. Chad Tracy, who's just been a problem, shall we say, for Aaron Cook, hitting .541. Mark Reynolds homered last night. Miguel Montero's always swung the bat well against the Rockies. Chris Young in the 7-hole. Ryan Roberts drops to the 8-hole tonight at second base. And then Max Scherzer. And here's the Fidelity scouting report on Aaron Cook. He's won 6 straight decisions. Since June 1st, he's been lights out.
Well, he has, and he's got to be able to go back to that hard sinker, working at both sides of the plate and keeping it from the knees down. An occasional changeup, but that slider. Those are the 2 pitches that he needs to be used to be effective against the left-handed hitters of the Diamondbacks.
And the first pitch of the ball game misses ball 1. For whatever reason, Aaron in his career has had a mixed bag in terms of success against Arizona. He has a pretty lofty ERA against the Diamondbacks, and he gives up a base hit here to Stephen Drew. Let's take a look at the defense for the Rockies tonight. In the outfield, Seth Smith and left, Dexter Fowler in center, Brad Hobbs in right. If you watched the ball game last night, it's the exact same, not only defensive alignment, but offensive lineup. Stewart, Tulowitzki, Barmes, Helton, and Iannetta behind the plate. The last couple of starts for Aaron Cook, he has not had the great sinker.
No, he hasn't. It's been up in the zone. Even the start that he beat San Diego in, you look at it, a lot of pitches, 103 pitches, only 6 innings. But he was able to minimize the damage, giving up only the 1 earned run, helped by the 8 strikeouts.
And the 8 strikeouts matched a career high. Gerardo Parra at the plate. When he was called up, he hit like gangbusters. He's hit the skids a little bit, which is to be expected for a young player. Parra just 2 for his last 19.
Well, the advanced scouts, so they'll find those holes for young hitters, and if you don't make the adjustment, they just keep going to that. They'll keep pitching you inside if they feel like that's where the hole is, or you can go soft away with some sort of breaking pitch or the sinker away to get the rollover ground ball double play.
Good pickup by Iannetta. 2 balls and a strike on Parra.
It was a good pick. The Hyundai cam will show us exactly why, because Chris was set up outside, had to reach all the way back across his body and act like almost a shortstop or a first baseman when you have to pick a ball in the dirt.
Runner going, and it's fouled off. Hit and run on a 2-1 pitch. Now a 2-2 count. Nobody out. Stephen Drew at first. Let's take a look at our Burt Automotive keys to victory for the Rockies.
Well, keep up the pace. 1 4 out of 5 to start the second half. Keep it going and use some of that energy from the crowd last night. We'll have another good crowd tonight, and then everybody contributes. Last night, from top to bottom, everybody did their part, including the pitcher, and then rattle the D-backs. Score early, get them back on their heels.
And it's a double play ball. There's 1, there's 2. You give up a hit. That's what you want to come back with if you're Aaron Cook. That's the 15th ground ball double play he has induced this year.
Well, yeah, he had 29 last year, and this is exactly what you want from the young hitter. That doesn't get any easier than that, because you feel it and you throw it to your second baseman. You got that runner coming down on you, plenty of time to turn it over. So what? You give up the hit, you come back and you make a pitch, get the double play. Now there's 2 outs.
Justin Upton will step in. .292 average, 16 home runs, 51 RBIs for the All-Star. The numbers have decreased in terms of average of late, as Upton is battling a bit of a slump. 11 for his last 63, a 175 average in the month of July. And that was a good sinker. Easy play for Ian Stewart. And it turns into a very good inning for Aaron Cook. Got a double play ground ball. Did it all on 8 pitches. Go to the Rocky Mountain homepage and then click on the email the booth link, and we'll try to get to as many of your questions as always tonight. It's brought to you by Office Liquidators and OfficeLiquidators.com, Colorado's largest selection and lowest prices of office furniture. Here's Jim Tracy's lineup tonight. He said it's the same as last night. Dexter Fowler went deep last night. Clint Barmas in the 2-hole at 274. Todd Helton sitting on 499 doubles. Brad Hoff, Troy Tulowitzki. He had a 2-run double early last night. Dean Stewart, Seth Smith riding an 8-game hitting streak. Chris Iannetta, who homered. And then Aaron Cook in the first pitch from Max Scherzer. The former University of Missouri star missed. And that pitch is fouled off. Good arm for Scherzer.
Well, it is. One of those young prospects. It's just cutting his teeth at the big league level for the Diamondbacks now. Just second year. Good arm, though.
Good action on that. Like a slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that's a pitch he wants you to get the swing at. 96-mile-an-hour fastball above the hands. Fowler stayed off it. It's 2-2. Dex last night 1 for 4. And that's strike 3 on the corner. Let's take a look at the Fidelity scouting report on Scherzer, who will turn 25 next Monday.
Yeah, we talked about his good arm. It'll be 93, 96 so far. We've already seen 2 pitches, one at 96, the other at 95. We'll cut it a little bit, straight change up. And then the slider down and late, especially to the right-handed hitters. There's a guy at home, is a 3-3 record with the 5 ERA. Out on the road, though, 2-3 with the 2.15.
This is his first start in the second half. They want to try to limit his innings, which is not unusual with the young pitcher. They'd like him to finish the year around 170 innings. They don't want to see this kid throwing 200 innings yet.
Well, he had 133 innings last year between the big leagues, AAA, and also the Arizona Fall League. So when you do that, you don't want to increase it the next year to say 200 right off the bat. So you just keep bumping him up each and every year. And so far already this year, he has 96 2/3 innings thrown.
1-2, good swing there by Barmas on the fastball again, clocking in at 96. Barmas 2 for 5 last night. He has a slugging percentage of .541 here at Coors Field. Fans, feed your Rockies fever at Taco Bell. I hope you made it there today. When the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6. Get 4 tacos for $1 with the purchase of a drink. Only 1 order per customer. Rockies winners 10-6 yesterday. Kind of slings that fastball a little bit out of a 3/4 arm slot.
Yeah, and really will open that front shoulder a little bit, especially to lefties, where he kind of runs away from the ball a little bit, has trouble getting it inside the left-handed hitters. Righties, he feels more comfortable throwing inside. He's only walked 9 batters in 170 at-bats from the right side, but 30 batters in a little over 200 at-bats on the left side.
2-2, and Barmas working at Todd Helton at bat. He keeps fouling pitches off. And not only is aggressive patience, sounds like an oxymoron, part of the equation for Don Baylor in their approach, but also there's a ball to center field for a base hit. But within that, keep your discipline, because they'd like to run those pitch counts up in the 5th inning and get into your bullpen early. Well, these teams don't want to see their bullpen till the 7th or 8th.
Yeah, even that was a nice pitch of that at bat.
Here's the defensive alignment for the Diamondbacks. Gerardo Parra, Chris Young, Justin Upton left to right. Infield, Reynolds moves from first to his natural position at third. Stephen Drew, Ryan Roberts, the double play combination. Chad Tracy at first. Miguel Montero is behind the plate. Todd Helton steps up. That was a really good at bat for Clint Barnes.
Well, it was, because he fell behind in the count, and then he fouled off some sliders, kept fouling them off, and then stayed on that fastball that they tried to work away to him, and just hit a soft sinking line drive to center field.
Rocky 17 games over 500 when Barmes is in the 2-hole. That pitch well inside. 1-1 on Helton. Sitting on 499 doubles, which is 5th among active players. Your old teammate Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge, with 536 doubles, and Manny Ramirez, Ken Griffey Jr., Garrett Anderson. Garrett Anderson, also a former teammate of yours, just passed 500 recently. He's at 505.
It's always fun to look at just great hitters from the dugout when you're playing with them. Just study them each and every day, how easy they make the game look when it's not.
Two balls and a strike on Helton. You mentioned the pitch count. Pitchers, if they can keep it 12 to 15, they have a chance to last a long time in a ball game, provided they're getting outs. He's already at 17.
And that's something that they've been doing with regularity the last month or so. And then all of a sudden it comes up into the 5th or 6th inning, and the opposing manager has to take him out because their pitch count's so high. And then you get into that middle part of a bullpen. That's always the shaky part. So now you can get to those guys and then really do the damage.
And here we go. Buckle up your seatbelt.
It could be a while.
Rockies lately have been getting a quick jump on teams in the ball game. Last night they got off to a fast start. You see how many pitches per at bat Helton sees on average. That was a tough pitch.
Well, that's the one that cuts just a little bit. 95 miles an hour. That was on our Fidelity Scouting Report, where it just cuts at the last second. The Hyundai cam will show how Todd just had to fight that off. He really pulled his hands in close to his body just to be able to get to it. Well, it's the 7th pitch of this at bat coming up right now.
See if Barmes moves. No. And a line shot look out into the crowd. Keeping that hole open right now for Helton.
Well, Max is showing a lot of pitches right around the plate. Not sure this would be a good pitch. I'd wait till it's 3-2.
They're going to. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. They keep track of every stat in baseball, some that may surprise you, and one of them is foul balls. And since the year 2000, Todd Helton has hit more foul balls than any other player in baseball.
So what you're saying is they got to rub up a couple extra dozen baseballs when the Rockies are playing because of Helton.
That's one of the keys to his greatness. Get one you can handle. And there are very few guys. Let me ask you, I mean, you played a long time. How often did you take a swing with the intent, I just want to foul this off?
Well, I did it a lot. Was I successful? No, not a whole lot. And that's why I'm kind of laughing at Helton, because he does have that ability to just foul balls off that other guys can't.
And that's his intent. He's not trying to put those balls in play.
Exactly, Drew.
Well, this time Todd loses the battle with Scherzer. He may lose the battle but win the war, because it took him in the neighborhood of 10 pitches to record the outs, and now he's on 24 pitches as Brad Hopp steps in. Do you think Barmes goes early here?
No, I don't think so, only because it took so much energy for Max Scherzer to strike Todd out that if I'm looking at it, let him try to make a mistake to Brad. Let him do some damage, hit it into a gap or possibly over the wall. But that was a lot of energy. Even early in the ball game, you're fresh, everything like that. But just to strike a great hitter out like Helton, sometimes you let your guard down.
And this is not the guy you want to let your guard down to. Hopp with 15 home runs, leading the club with 61 RBIs. Catches a corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you look at the pitch count and you say, wow, 19 strikes, that's pretty good. But think about all the balls that Todd fouled off, all the ones that Clint fouled off. Those are considered strikes.
Snap throw, and Barnes gets back.
Well, Montero tried to get Clint napping over at first, but he had stayed squared and was able to dive back. And what I mean by square, he didn't get turned at all. He kept his shoulder square to home plate, and that way he can react either way. If the ball's hit, he goes to second. If not, he gets back to first base.
Two and two. Scherzer 2 starts ago pitched here at Coors Field, and the Rockies won 5-0. Scherzer went 6 innings, allowed 5 runs, 3 earned on 6 hits.
Folks, look at this right here. That's the second baseman. Shortstop's playing up the middle some. What a shift they have on Brad Hopp.
And Barnes takes off there, and it was fouled back. And to me, it's surprising because the spray chart has changed this year for Brad Hopp.
Yeah,
he's not anywhere close to being exclusively a pull hitter.
No, maybe they're going off last year's or the year before.
I don't know. They've played the Rockies 10 times this year.
Well, I understand that, but now you see what's happened with 2 strikes. How Stephen Drew's moved back over onto the shortstop side of second base.
They set up away, and Scherzer ends up striking out the side, but it took him 30 pitches. No scores. We go to the second. The ninth from Nick in Castle Rock. Does the third base coach tell the hitter what pitch to look for next? What else does he tell the hitter? And has he tell it to him? And we'll answer that question right after this pitch. And it's a sinker down low. That doesn't happen.
No, not at all. You might get some where a base runner will relay it somehow to the hitter, but the third base coach, all he's doing is saying, hey, is it going to be a hit and run? Is it going to be a steal? He relays the signs from the manager. And so basically that's what he does. He helps you with your base running, obviously, if you're coming around, waving you home, stopping you. But no, he does not tell you what type of pitch is coming up at the plate. I wish he could. He can't do it, though.
It would be very difficult to, if he knew, to relay that time where it would be useful information. 2 balls and a strike. There's always one guy in the league, no matter how talented you are and how much success you've had on the hill. And Aaron Cook has had an abundance of success, 61 wins against 47 losses. But Chad Tracy has his number. And a line drive. That's how you get Tracy out if you're Aaron Cook. To him, that's a punch out.
That was because he got him out. And sometimes that's what it takes. You throw a ball over the plate and you just hope that they hit it at somebody. Well, Todd Talk about perfect positioning, was right there, was able to catch the line drive. That's the way it is sometimes.
Yeah, it's, you know, at some point, rather than go through the whole repertoire, Cookie should just yell, "Hey, I'm throwing a fastball. It's a BP fastball. Here it comes. See how far you can hit."
You might have more luck that way than the other way he's been going.
Put the shift on for Mark Reynolds, and he swings through that offering. Reynolds hit a home run last night, his 25th of the year.
Well, you talk about spray charts with Mark Reynolds. If he hits it to the right side, it's by accident. He's trying to pull every ball to hit it out of the ballpark. That's exactly what he did last night.
Yeah, Mark's not an enormous guy. I mean, he's a good-sized guy, but he's not an enormous guy. He generates a lot of power.
He really does. He's got a very wide stance and doesn't do a whole lot with that lead foot. He just tries to get that bat going through the zone as quick as he can. But his wrists are, if you shake hands with him, he's got big paws. He's got big hands, and he just rips that bat, and that's what all he's trying to do is hit a home run and or strike out.
We're going to go in 0-2. Surprised me a little bit. That missed down low 1-2.
Well, now,
that may be the show me.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Fastball.
Well, and now, much like what we saw with Stephen Drew, Clint Barmas has moved back to the second base side of second base.
That's a pitch that he wanted to induce a swing on. It was in the dirt. 2-2. And we always talk, Huey, from the hitter's perspective, 0-2, 1-2, trying to work themselves back in the count. Pitching coaches hate when their pitcher's ahead 0-2, and then they nibble, and all of a sudden now it's 3-2.
Well, because you've wasted so many different pitches, just like this. Prime example, you had him 0-2, you got ahead with some good hard sinkers, and then you tried to go 3 straight sliders in a row, nowhere close to the zone. As a hitter, I see that right out of the hand right away. So now you've increased your pitch count by at least 4.
Strike 3. He ends up getting the punch out. First of the ball game. Strikeout's not unfamiliar to Mark Reynolds.
Well, talk about location. Being able to hit your spot exactly where Chris wanted it that time. That was just a sinker that cut back over the outside part of the plate, and Chris froze it and held it just long enough for Gary Darling to look at it and call it strike 3.
This guy at the plate's a tough out, Miguel Montero. They're going to get him out on one pitch on a fly ball right to Seth Smith. Another strong inning for Aaron Cook. Thrown 19 pitches in 2 innings. Game thus far. Check another email. Eric wants to know, the Diamondbacks traded Felipe Lopez this weekend. What other moves can we expect in the NOS before the trade deadline? Well, generalities, I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco tried to make a move for a hitter They need more.
They need more punch.
They need more punch. They are really pitching wealthy, not just at the big league level. They have a couple of the top pitching prospects in all of baseball. Bumgarner.
Yeah, and that's a situation too where what do you feel like is the best for your organization? Do you trade one of those guys to get somebody?
How about this, by the way, tonight?
Yeah.
Derek Lowe on the hill. It's 8-1 Atlanta. Good news. Two and two. You know, the Dodgers, if they were to make a move, you know, they're a pretty good team right now. I don't see them forcing anything inside. And San Diego is obviously selling, just like Arizona.
They just traded, we mentioned it last night, Clay Meredith was traded, one of the relievers.
This ball is hit a ton to right center field. Way back, take a good look, you won't see it for long. Jordan Tulowitzki, another opposite field blast. And the Rockies lead it 1-0. Number 17 for Tulowitzki to match Ian Stewart for the club lead.
That looked like a left-handed pull hitter home run. Ball away from him, he just stayed on it and drove it to right field. The head positioning was just outstanding. Little toe tap where he comes back and then hits it out. And this is what we're starting to see from him, the drive once again to right center field, using that whole field. But when you have power to hit it out that way, that's a special feeling as a hitter.
I thought your description was right on the money. He hit that ball like he was a left-handed pull hitter. I mean, that thing is a line shot, more than 400 feet, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
A no doubter to right center.
And whatever wind there is blowing in a little bit from right center or center field, so you would think it would hold up. Little look from the Hyundai cam. We'll get a great look at it. Where everything, this hip stays right in there and driving through the ball. That front side didn't open up until after he made contact through the ball.
And Stewart was on that pitch. 2-2 on Ian. Bob Apodaca saying, you know, you really stayed on that pitch well. This ball is hit well to left center field. And this one's going to run to the wall. Stewart's picking up speed. He's thinking about 3 bases, and he's got himself a triple. Hitting coaches preach, use the off gap. Tulowitzki just did, and now Stewart follows up with a triple to the off gap.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that if you're Don Baylor, because you've just seen your number 5 and your number 6 hole hitter do exactly what you want them to do when the guy is pitching you away. You hit him away. Troy did it with a home run. Now Ian gets his 2nd triple of the year. Over into left center field. Doesn't even need to slow down. That ball's in front of him. He didn't even look at Rich Dower, because we know that Jim Tracy says, you know what? I want you to be aggressive. That ball's in front of you. Make him throw you out. Go ahead. It's not even close. And now what a luxury for Seth Smith, because they're going to play the infield back.
Get it in play.
Easy RBI.
Yep, get it in play. You got to ribby. You got to clear the pitcher. 1-0 on Smith. 304 average for Seth. He's hit his last 8 games, a 400 batting average. That gets to the screen. And he's going to lose a chance at an RBI. Stewart slides in safely. 2-0 Colorado. Now how important is that triple?
Well, it just puts the pressure on everybody. It put the pressure on Max Scherzer to throw something around the zone, and also the pressure on Montero to be able to stop it. I mean, that was just a slider that Montero didn't even try to slide over and block. He tried to backhand this. And with a runner on third base, you got to, as a catcher, you got to roll your body. You got to throw your body in front of it. Do whatever you can to keep that ball from going to the backstop. I don't think that was a very good effort.
The book on Miguel Montero is that is in there for a strike. 2-1. Has always been. He's got a great bat. His hands are suspect. They say he boxes the ball a little bit. Now, in his defense, he's gotten much better with the playing time afforded him with the injury to Chris Snyder, and he is a personal favorite of A.J. Hinch, who was a catcher at the big league level. But as you said, that was not good technique there. That's I was about to call it fair. It looked like it went right over the bag. Evidently not. Called foul by DJ Rayburn.
Right up the line, we'll get a good look at it. The same look that DJ Rayburn gets. Boy, that is real close, because if it hits in fair territory and it crosses, even if it catches a little bit part of the bag, it is still, even though it hit in foul territory after it hit in fair territory, it's a fair ball.
Goes over any part of that bag. That's, it's tough to tell. Looked like it may have
caught a little bit of the outside part of it.
Yeah. It's a 3-2 on Smith. It's popped up, and Lynch got it. Is that catch made?
An effort.
Did Reynolds make that catch?
I think he did.
Does he have a baseball in his glove? Oh my goodness, what a play. What a play by Mark Reynolds.
Well, the fans here are certainly letting him know what a fine play that was.
They ought to.
They should. I mean, giving him a standing ovation.
He never broke stride.
He didn't. He didn't worry about the wall. He didn't worry about anything other than maybe getting some food on his jersey once he flipped over into the stands. What an effort by Reynolds. You can say all you want about the errors that he has, the 15 errors, the strikeouts, but that was a heck of an effort to be able to go over there and then completely flip over into the stands. He has no concern about where that wall is. Unfortunately, it's padded a little bit.
Now, you played over there a fair amount. It's not only the fence that you have to be concerned about. Max Scherzer's reaction, you bet. I mean, that's been tough to come by this inning. He also have to worry about the tarp.
The tarp, yeah, because that is not something that you really have in your mind. Where is it? I've got to watch for this. He just went over there, and even if the tarp was there, he would have run into the tarp to try to catch it.
Chris Iannetta 2 for 4 last night, including a home run. He takes ball 1. First home run for Chris in 19 ball games.
That 3.18 seconds to get out.
Asked Don Baylor about that this afternoon, and he said, he's so strong when he lets the ball travel and stays true. There's so much backspin on the baseball that it stays in the air forever. I mean, this kid can hit him as far as anybody, especially you make a mistake inner half. We routinely in batting practice see him play pepper with the concourse.
Yeah. Well,
you left and left center field.
You saw how quickly that ball came back out on the field last night. I mean, it was in the stands and back out onto the field before you could even turn around.
3-2, ground ball up the middle on through, base hit for Iannetta. Rockies up 2-0, 1 out. Iannetta at first, Aaron Cook coming up. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo with tonight's Mike Shaw Auto Update. Alana, good evening.
Good evening, Drew. Want to talk a little bit more about Chris Iannetta at the plate. 2 for 4 last night, a single here tonight. I talked to Jim Tracy about Chris's approach offensively, and he wants him to stay back from the ball a little bit more. He doesn't want him to go so hard at it, not necessarily hitting the ball. What I mean by that is the way that he lands his front right foot. He thinks he's pressing too much and getting too close to the ball. Another thing that he wants Chris to work on is the fact that if he doesn't get on base, if he makes an out, he doesn't want him to go out there the next at bat and try to make up for it tenfold. Chris is very hard on himself, as I've talked about before, and he wants to make up for things when he doesn't necessarily have a good outing at the plate the first time around. So stay away from the ball and take things in stride. Don't be so hard on yourself, Drew.
Well, he's done a very good job of not taking at bats with him behind the plate. You can't have that in any defensive position, and you especially can't have it behind the plate.
No, you have to be the guy that is even keel from the side. This is what we're talking about. When it comes out here and lands, it has to be very, very soft. I've heard a lot of hitting coaches talk about when you land with that front foot, land like you're landing on an egg, that you don't want to break the egg. Because if you land too hard, a good analogy for me is when you have that landing on the plane and it kind of jars you, you hit real hard, one of those two hoppers, and all of a sudden your head goes up and down, it bounces you a little bit. Well, that's what happens with your eyes when you're hitting. If you land too hard on that front foot, your head moves too much.
You're also not staying back.
Right.
Good butt by Aaron Cook. Scherzer's got to go to the second baseman covering Ryan Roberts. And Ionetta in scoring position with 2 outs for Dexter Fowler.
A 4 sacrifice bunt now for Aaron Cook.
The other analogy you used to hear quite a bit is test the ice.
Yes.
With that front foot.
Right.
You wouldn't just put your foot down on ice you're not sure if it was solid.
Kind of stick your toes in the water just a little bit. Anything to put your mind where it says don't go too hard onto that front foot.
Dexter struck out looking his first time up. Not this time. Line drive. Get down. It will. Around third, Ionetta. Upton can really throw. And moving to second is Fowler. Safe at the plate is Ionetta. Fowler with RBI number 26. And the Rockies are off to a 3-0 beginning here against the Arizona Diamondbacks and Max Scherzer.
Remember last inning, one of my keys was rattle the D-backs. Get on them early, put some pressure on, and they're going to start to fold, and that's what they've done so far. You get a runner in scoring position. Dexter Fowler goes down, hooks the ball to right field. Even though it's a one-hopper, Justin Upton has a great arm. With 2 outs, you're going to be off with the crack of the bat. Chris Ionetta rounds third very easily, takes a peek over his shoulder, but because the throw was so bad, Dexter goes to second base. I mean, that's his core fundamentally baseball. Overthrowing your cutoff man, not even close. You read that the whole way, you go to second base.
And you minimize what the opposition has to do to beat you. In other words, if Barmes gets a hit here and they'd hit the cutoff man and Fowler's still at first base, it's going to take 2 hits to score him. Now it takes 1.
That's right. You're back to right where you were just a second ago. I mean, that's part of the reason why the D-backs, that's not an error, but it's a mental error. And those add up just as much as the physical errors.
0-2 on Barmes, who singled his first time. Not this time. Rockies get 3 runs in the inning, including their 199 2-out RBI of the year, which is tops in the game. 3-0 Colorado. time and money. Tomorrow afternoon, the Rockies conclude this series with the Diamondbacks. Thursday will be an off day, and then the Giants are here over the weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all the ball games right here on FSN Rocky Mountain. Chris Young takes low, ball one. Young had a triple in last night's ball game to move his average to the 200 mark. I don't know if Chris is ever going to be a high average guy. This is a broken bat single. You got to get to it quickly because Young can fly. And that's a good job by Tulowitzki. I'm saying, Huey, I don't know if he'll ever be a high average guy. He's going to hit home runs. He's going to steal bases. He plays a very good center field, but he can't be a 200 hitter.
No, he's going to be about a 240, 250 hitter because he's very good giftedly physically. And not a guy that's going to hit 300 because his swing is too much just on one plane. He has a lot of trouble going down and getting a breaking pitch where you need to bend your knees a little bit and change the bat angle. But he's better than a 200 hitter.
Ryan Roberts. Nothing Colorado, and that pitch is low. Ball one on Roberts. Check another email from Neil. Is Corey Sullivan still in the Rockies organization? Neil, he is not. He signed with the New York Mets in the offseason, and he's been in AAA all year until about 48 hours ago. He was called up, and he is now in the big leagues with the Mets. So we wish Corey well, and we'll see him in a few days.
Yep. Been down in Buffalo this whole time, just waiting for that call.
You know, he and Jeremy Reed were battling for that fifth outfield spot. Reed came over from the Seattle Mariners in the J.J. Putz deal.
Very similar type players. They're both very good defensive players. Can run a little bit.
That's in there. Ryan Roberts hitting in the 8-hole tonight. Yesterday he hit in the 2-hole. And going back to when Bob Melvin was the skipper of the team and now A.J. Hinch. Check this out here. The Diamondbacks have used 87 different lineups in 94 games. Is it hard as a player when there's no continuity?
Yes. Very, very hard because you come to the ballpark each and every day going, okay, am I going to be in the 2-hole? Am I going to be in the 6? Am I going to be playing? I mean, and so now instead of knowing who you're following and just really get into a pattern, into a rhythm, because baseball players love to have a structured system. They just crave it, and they have to have it. When you don't, all of a sudden you just don't work as well.
Roberts hits it in the air to right field pretty well. Hop near the track to gather it in. Chris Young went 4/5 of the way to second, and now he'll return. One out, and that'll bring up Scherzer, the pitcher. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by the Exempla Lutheran Medical Center. We wanted to check in on Edgar Gonzalez, who was hit in the head Saturday. A pitch that got away from Jason Hamill. He was placed on the 15-day disabled list. His hearing has improved to about 80%, and he plans to stay home and rest this week, and has been, we believe, has been released now from the hospital.
Well, that's good news. And
Jason Hamill did talk to him. I mean, Hamill was shaken up. That's a fair ball. There's one, and now take your time to get the double play. That is a 2-6-3 twin killing. And through 3 innings, Aaron Cook, because he's gotten a couple double plays behind him, has faced the minimum. The Rockies leading 3-0. Rockies up 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Todd Helm, Brad Hopp, Troy Tulowitzki, 3, 4, and 5 in the Rockies lineup. Time for our Excel Energy fun fact. Latest dates, the Rockies have been 8 or more games above 500. They're 9 over right now. October 2nd, 1995. They went 77 and 67 in the strike short year. And then, of course, October 1st, 2007, they finished the year at 90 and 73 when they won game 163 against the Padres. And right now, on July the 21st of 2009, 2-0 count on Todd Helm. And get this, 63 pitches already for Max Scherzer.
Yeah, 30 in the first inning, 31 in the second, just to get through those two. I mean, on this base, he's going to be out of there by the 4th inning if he lasts that long.
3-1, by the way. Excel Energy fun facts brought to you by ResponsibleByNature.com. In addition, summer, great time to cook outdoors. This keeps your house cooler and saves energy. Learn more tips at ResponsibleByNature.com. Todd had a lengthy at bat, a 10-pitch at bat, and then struck out finally. And this time he hits it on one hop to Stephen Drew. One out as Brad Hopp comes up. Devin had a question. Are there any players in our farm system that may make an impact during the stretch run? Devin, it's an excellent question. And I'll throw a couple of names out there, and I don't know if the Rockies yet want to make that move to some young arms, but Esmil Rogers has been terrific the last couple of years in the minor leagues. He's now pitching in AAA Colorado Springs. Terrific arm, converted shortstop, starting pitcher, but a lot of guys get their feet wet initially in the bullpen. Ulysses Chassin, who you've heard a lot about, he's having another terrific year. Last year, he's one of the top minor league pitchers in baseball. He's in Tulsa right now. Samuel Deduno, who is the pitcher of the week in the Texas League.
I look at a guy like Eric Young Jr., guy with his kind of speed. Well, yeah, I'm talking about not maybe in August, but September.
When the rosters expand.
When the rosters expand, a guy to come up, steal a base. Another guy, Matt Merton.
Well, I also think, and it's a little premature to start talking about September call-ups, obviously. But I also believe that unlike a team perhaps like Arizona, where they're going to be out of it and they want to take a look at some young guys. Here's the 2-2. This ball yanked down the right field line. Brad should have at least 2 here as Upton has to go in the corner to get the baseball. He doesn't field it cleanly. Here goes Hop to third, and Brad is in with a triple. If it indeed stays as a triple, it will be the 3rd for Hop this year.
He just goes out and hooks his ball out and away from him a little bit. Chad Tracy playing well off the line. He makes a dive for it, but doesn't even come up close. And the way that ball is configured down into the corner, Justin Upton just got caught in no man's land because he went underneath the padding over there. And it's tough to stop it. You just kind of wait until it finishes rolling around.
Boy, good swing there by Tulowitzki, who hit a home run his first time up.
Oh, he did. I mean, started with that swing, just kept it on plane and hit it out the other way out.
It is a triple. He's got word from the official score.
Not sure how else it could have been scored, really. I mean, I understand it went off his hand for a second, but the way it kicked up underneath the padding.
Rockies with 6 hits already against Max Scherzer, St. Louis native, big star at the University of Missouri in Columbia.
Infield playing halfway this time instead of all the way back like we saw with Seth Smith when he was up there. Scherzer missed his spot there. Montero wanted the ball up by the letters to try to get Troy to swing through it. He needs to try to get a strikeout somehow, and that ball stayed right at his knees. The Hyundai Cam Troy, one of those eyes just lit up. He wants that one back.
He's had a couple of good pitches in this at bat to hack
up
at.
Again.
You know what? Scherzer right now is living dangerously.
He is. They keep trying to go up, and you're going to eventually make a mistake. For Montero to throw a slider maybe down and away, unless he doesn't want it. We saw what happened with the wild pitch just a little bit ago. Maybe he doesn't want him to throw that slider. Maybe he feels more comfortable going up.
Now this is popped up. Drew will make the catch, 2 outs. And it'll be left to Ian Stewart. Tonight's high-speed pitch brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet. Scherzer's hit 96 several times. Aaron Cook working that sinker at 90 miles per hour. Stewart tripled to deep left center his first time. Rockies a couple of triples in the game. They have a home run. Last night, 11 hits to produce 10 runs. They had a pair of home runs yesterday. De La Rosa even got in on the act. He had 2 RBIs.
Added to his hit total for a total of 3 now.
Got to start something.
That's right. Well, he had 1 going into yesterday's ball game, so he just said, "Nah, I'm not happy with the 1. I'll throw a couple out there."
Temperature in the 70s. Beautiful night for baseball. 0-2. 80 pitches in for Max Scherzer with 2 outs in the 3rd inning.
Well, his last 2 starts, too. And against San Diego, he threw 108 and 101 against the Rockies in his previous start. Highest he's thrown this year has been 119.
On the outside corner. That looked like the changeup. Scherzer got the outside corner. Brad Hopp triple with 1 out and could not score. 3-0 Rockies. Stephen Drew will lead things off. It is Tuesday night. Office Liquidators presents Email the Booth night. Ian Stewart reminds me a lot of Craig Nettles playing third base. Would you agree? This from Steve, who actually remembers Nettles' days, I'm sure, in the Bronx with the Yankees. He was an acrobatic third baseman, Nettles, who could hit.
Yeah, I would agree with him. I had the opportunity to play with Nettles at very, very end of his career. Came to Montreal for about a month and a half when I was there. Very similar players. Why you give me that look?
You and I are the same age. I thought Nettles for sure had retired by the time you hit the big leagues. Another base hit for Stephen Drew. He has 2 of the 3 knocks tonight for Arizona. Let's take a look at our Affleck trivia question tonight. It's coming. Well, now I've been told we're going to wait on Affleck.
Well, it just builds the suspense even more, that's all.
For all of us. Gerardo Parra grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the first inning after a Stephen Drew base hit. Cook went with the slide step. Got a swing and a miss on a high fastball.
We'll just keep the base runner honest over at first base and Stephen Drew.
Parra's got 30 RBIs. That's second among the rookie class to Colby Rasmus of the St. Louis Cardinals, who has 34. If you're wondering about Dexter Fowler, who leads in a number of rookie categories, Dexter has 25 RBIs. Of course, Dex actually has 26 RBIs with an RBI tonight. Dex hitting out of the leadoff spot doesn't get as many opportunities as a guy like Parra, who's been down the lineup a little bit. Same with Rasmus.
It's a lot different spot in the lineup. Andrew McCutchen with Pittsburgh, 298. Hey, that kid can fly.
He can play some defense too. 2-1. What a contrast. Aaron Cook with that delivery. That was pitch number 32 as he works in the 4th. And his counterpart has 50 more pitches in less innings because Aaron's now working in the 4th and Scherzer's only worked 3 innings. 50 less. There goes Drew, and that had a pop out of his hands. So Stephen Drew will get a stolen base.
It's the 3rd stolen base for Stephen Drew. He got a good jump. Chris just couldn't handle the throw. The transfer, and when he tried to transfer, that's where he lost it. Just popped straight out of his glove. Chris now on the season, 10 for 43 throwing out runners.
Yeah, there's various reasons for this next step, but the Rockies are last in baseball in throwing out runners, just 12%.
Yeah, Chris's percentage is 24%, so that's not too bad. I mean, you kind of have to go to Paul Phillips, who only threw out 1 base runner when he was here. And also look at what Yorvit's been able to do, just 4 for 26, 15%.
Here's the 3-2 on Parra, and it's hit to center field and well. Dexter Fowler going back, still going back, and he's going to get there. Tagging and moving to 3rd is Stephen Drew. Good play by Fowler. Great example of running to a spot and then finding the baseball again.
Affleck!
And now we are officially ready for our Affleck trivia question. Who are the doubles leaders for the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and here in the first decade of the 21st century? Rockies up 3-0. And the infield back naturally. Justin Upton at the plate. Ground ball to 3rd his first time. And he takes a strike.
Yeah, you're gladly trading out for a run. If you're the Rockies, you don't want to make this a bigger inning. So you go ahead and stay back. Hopefully he'll hit it. Maybe back to Aaron Cook or at least on the ground, and you get the out, clear the bases.
The Diamondbacks with 3 hits tonight, hitting .227 out on the road, which is the lowest batting average among National League teams away from home. Two and 1. They also strike out a ton. And the Reds don't have a lofty batting average on the road, but they're 9 points better than Arizona. going to get the run home. Bare hand play. What a play by Tulowitzki.
That was.
He made that look easy, and it wasn't. Upton runs very, very well. And that ball, had some velocity still to it when he barehanded it.
Well, yeah, because it was able to get by Aaron Cook. The ball was shot off. Aaron tried to dive for it, and that's bounding real hard, and Troy comes in, and that's where it helps to have bigger hands, because he was able to grab that ball and still have enough seams to get a good, strong throw over to first base.
So Diamondbacks get a run. It's 3-1.
That was a heck of a play. I thought he was going to try to use his glove to come in and make that play.
That's what I thought. And you're thinking like a shortstop, saying, well, that's how I would have handled it. And you know what? He may have had time to do it either way.
Another look. He's shaded over into the hole just a little bit. When he comes to get it, it has sideways spin on it. Once it came off the mound, that's why he had to barehand it, because he had every intention to use the glove, but until it hit the mound and then spun back to his right.
Chad Tracy with 2 outs, so 1-1 count. He lined to Todd Helton his first time. He's hitting over 500 in his career against Aaron Cook. And Cookie gets to pop up. Tulowitzki and Stewart. It'll be Ian Stewart in the inning. A single, a stolen base. Stephen Drew methodically worked his way around the bases to score the first run for the Diamondbacks. Ready to go. Bottom third of the Rockies lineup in the fourth, 3-1 ball game, and Smith got under it a smidgen. I mean, he was all over that fastball, and he just got under it. 1 out. I'll bring up Chris Iannetta. Here's today's Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist of the game. Last time Smith was up, a foul ball, and Reynolds goes into the seats. Ends up on his head, but he caught the baseball. What a great play by Mark Reynolds. Brought to you by the Mercedes-Benz You Must Experience, the amazing new E-Class.
Think back to that play. If there hadn't been a wild pitch before that, he would have got an RBI sac fly with Reynolds catching that ball.
In the stands, you're right. Chris Iannetta bounced the single up the middle.
He would have had to come out of the stands before he could have thrown the ball to home.
Chris out in front of a changeup. They're in the 9th inning in Atlanta, still 8-1. Braves over the Giants. Rockies leading the Giants by a half game in the division, and thus a half game in the wild card race. It's the 2-2 on Chris, 3-2.
To see who's going to start for the Dodgers tonight. Well, Randy Wolf gets Homer Bailey.
Ball 4. Answer the Affleck trivia question. Affleck! Looking for the doubles leaders in the last 4 decades, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. Pete Rose led in the first decade we were discussing, then Robin Yount, Hall of Famer. Mark Grace was in the booth next door, and Todd Helton so far has led in this decade. Look at the totals. Aaron Cook, another good sack bump. Before the ball game, we were visiting with Mark Grace, who's next door, and Gracie ended up with more than 2,400 hits. And I asked him, I said, which has greater meaning to you? He's working with Darren Sutton over there. He's Richard Thamer, our booth AD on the visiting side. But Gracie's always animated. But he had more than 2,400 hits. He said, which had greater meaning? Hit number 2,000 or your 500th double? And he thought about it, and he said, you know what? Probably the 500th double. He said, but it's a more exclusive group. There's fewer that have done that. He said, now, had I been able to reach 2,500 hits, he said, I probably would have answered the question to 2,500 hits. But
and what was he, just 35 hits away?
He was very close. He was 24 something.
2465 or something like that. But when you're talking about those kind of numbers, that's just very consistent hitters that played with Gracie, and he was a lot like Todd Helton. They were very similar in that they studied pitchers, they studied their swings.
2 outs, line drive, center field. Here comes Iannetta to the plate. He'll score again. Dexter Fowler, a couple of 2-out RBI knocks in this game, and the Rockies get that run right back. I mean, they had dominated the first third of this game, Huey, but it's 3-1. All of a sudden, you're saying, well, you know, Arizona's tightened it up. Maybe they get a bounce in their step. Big hit by Fowler.
Execution, because don't forget, both times, what did Aaron Cook do?
He
went up there, he got the bunt down, you get the base runner to second base, he put the pressure back on them. He didn't hit this ball hard. He just put a good swing on it, dumped it out into center field with 2 outs. Chris Iannetta scores easily, and then once again, because of what Dexter did earlier, Chris Young bobbled the ball out in center field because he knew the pressure that Dexter Fowler is going to put on.
Well, speaking of pressure, the Rockies, I imagine, are going to put some pressure right now on Max Scherzer and Miguel Montero, with Fowler at first, up 3 runs here in the bottom of the 4th. No movement there, and the fastball in for a strike.
We're pretty quick to the plate so far. That first pitch by Scherzer, a little over 1.15 seconds to the plate. Can't do it. And I've been just told Mark Grace 2,445 hits.
So 55 shy of 2,500.
I'd give him credit for 20 more hits than what he really needed.
He'll take those.
But yeah, 511 doubles.
Oh, 2. Now send them.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, if not this pitch, the next pitch. 0-2, you'll see some managers pitch out. We've seen what Montero's already done, called a couple high fastballs.
No movement, and swung on a miss by Barmas. In the inning, a 1-out walk to Iannetta. Aaron Cook sacrificed in the second, and Fowler brought him around again. 4-1 Rockies. average with bases loaded this year. Tigers have hit over 400, then the Mariners, then the Rockies, third in baseball. How about RBIs with 2 outs? Rockies far ahead of everybody else. Those clutch base hits, and we see 2 of them tonight from Dexter Fowler. The Rockies with 200 ribbies with 2 outs. Good teams on that list, all of them. That's brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, try the mini Buffalo Ranch chicken sandwiches, 3 mini home-style chicken fillets on toasted mini buns. And Mark Reynolds hitting out of the 5-hole tonight, chops it foul.
I was just looking over the list of some of those teams that were on there. Where do they stand in their division? First place, second. I mean, that just shows you. Those are just rally killers. I mean, not rally killers, but killers to the other team.
Yeah, you know, you work hard, you get a couple outs, you need that big out, and conversely, if you're able to come through with 2 outs. Shift on, 1-1 on Mark Reynolds, who struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch. It's the only strikeout of the ball game for Aaron Cook. This ball's hit to right and deep, and it is a fair ball. Hop firing it back in, and Reynolds in a second with a double. Let's check in again with Alana Rizzo with tonight's great Colorado payback sideline report. Alana.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. A little bit more on Diamondbacks skipper A.J. Hinch. You know, he retired from the big leagues in 2005, and the Diamondbacks made him their minor league operations manager. But he always had his post-playing career in mind. Even when he was still playing back in 2003, he went to the GM's winter meetings, and then he was named in 2006 of July the Baseball America's one of baseball's 10 to watch in the next 10 years for his promise as a farm director and possibly a future.
Sorry, Alana.
Oh, it's okay.
I got
That's
excited.
far more important.
Alana, hold that thought for 1 second.
Absolutely.
How many times the Rockies pulled off the daylight play this year?
I'm saying 5 or 6 already. It's just a quick spin move from Aaron Cook, right on the money to Troy with the tag. I mean, the daylight play could not have been worked any better than what we saw right there. From the Hyundai camp, Troy gets over there, just throws the glove down, let the guy slide into it. That's exactly what he did.
There's a strike on Miguel Montero. And you know what's underrated and should not be lost? The throw right over the shortstop side of the bag low by Aaron Cook.
Well, Aaron's helped himself out tonight in so many different ways. 2 sacrifice bunts now, and now you get a pickoff after a leadoff double. Bases are clear, 1 out. I mean, just so many things. We always talk about pitchers just throwing strikes, just being able to do that. No, it's more than that if you want to be a complete pitcher.
You know, look at a guy like Greg Maddux, first ballot Hall of Famer. He had a lot of attributes. He had great movement on his fastball and his changeup. But he also won, what, 17 gold gloves?
Yeah.
He fielded his position. And you know what? He handled the bat. So in those tight games, those 3-2, 4-3 games, how many times did something he do beyond pitching help him end up on top?
Well, and also stay out there longer into a ball game. One more look. And this is just, how does it set up? It's just a little eye contact between the shortstop, and he's just walking, and by the time he comes set, he's already done for. You have to get your lead, be in a situation where you can go one way or the other. His momentum was off on that right foot too much.
All right, Alana, we apologize.
Oh, don't apologize. That was one heck of a pickup. Don't ever apologize. Just to finish up the story, he was named as Baseball America's one of 10 to watch for, you know, jobs as a farm director or as a general manager. They ended up hiring him in 2006 to be the director of player development, and as everybody knows, he replaced Bob Melvin after the season began this year for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So a very young guy, not a lot of managerial experience. He's certainly learning the ropes along with his young team. Drew, back to you.
Well, he's a sharp guy, as you point out, Alana, and he's a guy that's already had several positions, and he's going to learn this role on the fly. And so it's always going to be a little controversial, but he did play. This ball is hit well to left center field by Young, and this is going to roll to the wall, and Young will have himself a double. Now think about how big that pickoff was.
You're exactly right, Drew, because now all of a sudden it's a 4-2 ball game. You got another base runner out at second base. Anything can happen. You hit a home run, it's all tied up. But with that pickoff, Chris Young, yeah, he hits his 21st double of the season. but now you can go ahead and attack the next hitter.
You don't even have to if you don't want. You could pass on Ryan Roberts if you want. You're probably going to get a pinch hitter, though, for Scherzer, I'm guessing, because he's at 95 pitches.
Yeah, Josh Whitesell has come out.
Yeah.
On the on-deck circle. That was the Rockies' 10th pickoff. It's tied for the first in the National League with Cincinnati and LA.
All these subtle categories, the Rockies
Yeah.
are leading or near the top end. 2-out RBIs, pickoffs, bases loaded, walks.
Yes. Oh, exactly. And you look at what the infield's been able to do, the clean defense on the infield. You think about where they're at. I mean, all these things add up to winning baseball. It's no accident that they're 9 games over 500, folks.
Nope. Here's the 0-1, and that's in there, 0-2. Good block. I'll give you another one. The Rockies have allowed the second fewest walks in the National League to the St. Louis Cardinals.
No free passes. Think back to last night's ball game. What Doug Davis do? He walked 3 in that inning. All 3 came around to score. Aaron Cook with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. The opposing batters are hitting just 140 off him.
Big pitch here. Here's the 1-2. And Roberts jumps back. It's 2-2. Windshield chipped or cracked? Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. 4-1 Colorado. Top of the 5th inning. Line drive at Troy Tulowitzki. And that's the end of the inning. Couple of doubles, but no runs. 4-1 Rockies, middle of 5. Rapid rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Couple of changes for the Arizona Diamondbacks that make a double switch. Augie Ojeda is into the ballgame for Ryan Roberts. Roberts made the final out, and that'll be the new pitcher spot. Clay Zavada is on. Remember we kept talking about pitch counts, 62 pitchers through the first 2 innings. They want to protect Scherzer's innings. They also want to protect how many pitches he throws per outing. Guy that they hope will be near the top of their rotation in the next year or two. So he is out of the ball game after 4 innings.
Yeah, 95 pitches.
Todd at the plate, fouls a pitch off. Let's check in on another email. Eric, Helton is approaching another career milestone, that being 500 doubles. What does he need to do in the final half-decade or so of his career to ensure his place in the Hall of Fame? It's a very fair question, Eric, and I'll throw some numbers out there in this sport dominated by them. We were talking earlier with Mark Grace about getting to 2,500 hits. I think if Todd's above 2,500 hits, and he's working on close to 2,100, this ball in the air to left center field. I think if he gets in the neighborhood, honestly, of 26 to 2,700 hits, he's going to have 600 plus doubles. He'll have 360 probably plus home runs.
Yep.
And assuming a 320 plus batting average, I don't care that he played in a real hitter-friendly environment. To me, especially with his defense, he is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but the hits have to go up to, like you said, and that all is predicated on his health. Making sure everything's good for the next probably 3 or 4 years to go out there and throw out 175 hits or so.
Todd this year has 102 hits, and there's a little less than 70 ball games to play. So, I mean, he's going to end up, it's very realistic, again, barring injury, for him to be in that, 25, 26, 2,700 range.
Yep.
He had a 328 career batting average coming in. I mean, to me, he's close right now. Are we biased? Yes. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Hop. But honestly, I mean, you look at the numbers. Doug did a little research, and when Todd gets his 500th double, he will average a double basically through his career right now. He's averaged a double every 12 and a half at bats, 12.58 to be exact. Of all the players in the game that have hit 500 doubles, or even some that aren't in that neighborhood yet, like a guy like Albert Pujols, who's produced a lot of doubles. Look at this. Fewest at bats per double all time. Todd Helton's #1, ahead of Tris Speaker, who hit more doubles than anybody.
And who's a Hall of Famer. So you can start comparing numbers to Hall of Famers, and sure. And that's where, to me, the doubles might throw him over the top if he's not quite up to that number we were talking about for hits.
And Todd, who battled the back issues the last few years, and he had the back surgery, he's on pace this year to produce 50 doubles. Sometimes it hurts your candidacy later on in a career when it appears, a guy's hanging on, and his numbers are nowhere near what they used to be. That's not the case right now with Todd. He's not going to hit 40-plus home runs anymore.
No.
But 20's realistic, and when you're still producing 40-plus doubles and hitting well over 300.
Well, it just goes to show you how much pain he's really been in the last couple of years, too. Just trying to fight through it. And when you have pain in your back, everybody that's sitting at home, every once in a while you get that pain and you're like, oh, I can't hardly get out of the chair, or whatever it is. Imagine having to come out and compete at the major league level, swing a bat, a very difficult thing to do. And then when you do have some numbness going down in your legs, that even compounds it more.
On the ground, fair. Reynolds makes the throw, and that's all they'll get. Tulowitzki trades places with Brad Hop. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Ian Stewart.
Hey, looking for the perfect place to entertain? Coors Field Suites, party facilities, and picnic areas offer a unique atmosphere designed to fit any event and any budget. Be sure to ask about the buy one, get one free offer. Call 303-312-2444 to reserve your game date today.
And last thought on this, at least for tonight, but for all those detractors out there that always want to bring up the Coors Field factor, especially before the humidor, instead of looking for reasons to say no, look at all of the unbelievable accomplishments of any individual player.
Right.
It's like
those first.
Yeah, it's like scouting. Instead of telling me what the guy can't do, like Willie Mays about to walk off the bus, there's only been one or two of those types of players. Tell me what he does well.
Right.
Well, he got the pickoff, but the shortstop was late in covering. They still got it. Drew was a little tardy getting there on the pickoff. Tulowitzki is gone, and will go as a caught steal. 4-1 Rockies. On FSN is brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Now with Hyundai Assurance, buy any new Hyundai and get a whole year's worth of gas for $1.49 per gallon. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Dex, take the sport out of finding local information with Dex and printing online at dexknows.com. And by Bird Chevrolet, where the 09 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab 4x4 is less than $26,000. Pitches to Augie Ojeda in the 9-hole after the double switch. Both missed from Aaron Cook, so it's 2-0 as Aaron works here in the top of the 6th. The Rockies ahead 4-1. Goodman, Jeff Hewson, and Alana Rizzo. Foul ball. Ojeda started last night's ball game at third base.
It was 0 for 4. Much better this year from the left side than he is the right side. Left side, he's hitting 254, only 103 from the right side.
Time to go back to the email bag. Ken has a question. What is the duties of the bench coach, and who is now the bench coach since Jim Tracy has become the manager?
Tommy
Reynolds. There you go. Tom Reynolds was the manager of the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. He was brought up. Stu Cole, who was the manager of the Tulsa Drillers, was elevated to the MGR title in Colorado Springs.
Yes, so what Tommy does is he's basically Jim Tracy's right-hand man. Jim will bounce some ideas off him. Tom will do the same. And they'll sit there and they'll discuss strategy. Tom also is the one that's in charge of controlling the running game for the other ball club, where he'll relay all the signs to the catchers, whether he wants to pitch out, whether he wants to throw over, slide step, everything along there. And Tom was a former manager at the big league level himself. And Jim and Tommy go back a long ways, back to the Montreal days.
3-2 again, and Augie Ojeda works out a walk. Aaron's at 65 pitches. Not many. That's the first walk he's allowed. And that'll bring up Stephen Drew. That's the pitch count. And Drew is a tough out for the Rockies, and it's been a tough out tonight for Aaron Cook. He's 2 for 2.
Well, he has, and that's the thing on this road trip. It had not been very good prior to the last 2 ball games here in Coors Field.
2 hits last night, 3 RBIs, double and a home run yesterday. Rockies made a move before the ball game. Joel Peralta sent down to Colorado Springs Ryan Spire. He was so good in that 07 stretch run. Battled some injuries. Been playing with his arm slot a little bit down in Colorado Springs. Ryan back with the big league club.
Good to see Ryan before the ball game today. Well, that's what he had to do. I mean, he had to go down there, and actually was pulled off one of his rehab because he had a little problem, and then he was able to work through that, and then right back out onto his rehab. Now he was such a valuable member back in 07 in the bullpen.
When I think of him, I think of a guy that's not afraid, and he's not afraid to pitch with traffic.
No, well, and he's so tough on right-handed hitters. I mean, with that arm slot, low 3/4, not quite sidearm, it makes it difficult to see and to get a good look at the ball.
2-0 on Drew, and that's a strike. Trey wants to know what's the update with Tyler Matzik. Are we going to get him signed by the deadline? We don't know. There is no update.
No,
and with negotiations, it typically goes down to the 11th hour, and the 11th hour in this case will be the wee hours before August 17th. That's another hit for Drew. He's 3 for 3. 2 on now, and the tying run coming to the plate in Gerardo Parra.
D-backs are just kind of hanging around, and that, you know, even with that hit by Stephen Drew, that's where that leadoff walk, the one to Augie Ojeda, just 216. That's the one that hurts just a little bit. Hey, follow the Colorado Rockies on your iPhone or iPod Touch with MLB.com at Bat 2009, featuring play-by-play real-time box scores and video highlights. Visit ColoradoRockies.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase today.
One more note on the question by Trey. 2/3 of the first round picks in the draft from June have not signed yet.
Now, how many are now Tyler's not represented by Boris, but Boris has 8 or 9 of those guys.
I believe he has 9, and none of those guys have signed yet.
No, including the number 1 overall. And once
Steven
he kind of
Strasburg
goes, then a domino effect will tend to take place.
Their average, you know, the reports, who knows what's accurate, they wanted $50 million. The record for a college pitcher draft was Mark Pryor. He got $10.5 million. 0-1 on Parra, 2 on, nobody out. 4-1 Colorado. And check swing by Parra. And he took a look at the bat. It sounded solid, but he may have chipped it. This is where Aaron Cook is going to earn his salary tonight. He's got 2 on. He's got Upton in the on-deck circle. And the Rockies got 3 in the second. They added a run in the 4th. And despite having the feel of dominance in the game, you're one big swing from being tied up.
Yeah, and it just feels like this whole ball game has been tilted towards the Rockies side of the field. But if you make the pitch to Parra, get the double play, and then Upton's not quite a big a story.
Don Baylor was saying today in the coaches room, he said, this is a really big game for us tonight. He said, because last time against these guys, we had them down after winning the first game and couldn't put them away, and we lost, and we ended up losing the next one when we had them down and lost 2 of 3 against a club that's struggling.
Right, and both those games, one was a 3-0 lead, the other was 4-0.
Swung on and missed, so Aaron Cook gets Gerardo Parra for the first out in the inning.
Right where Chris Iannetta called for this pitch. He wanted the fastball up, Doesn't even have to move his glove. Puts it right there, and that's what Aaron was able to do. So the Hyundai cam will look at this one more time, and that was a four-seamer. He wasn't trying to sink it at all. He wanted it to stay straight, but elevated. 93 miles an hour on that four-seamer. We've seen Aaron work around 88 to 90, 91. Reach back just a little bit more, got a little extra.
Remember when he was in the Texas League and he first came up, he touched 97 once in a while. He's got a great arm.
He does. He does, but you realize a little bit less velocity with more movement is more advantageous for Aaron Cook.
Now Justin Upton, and he fouls that pitch off. Upton, a ground ball to third, and a slow roller to short that drove in the only run of the ball game for Arizona. Fielder's choice ground out, played at Stephen Drew in the fourth. The Rockies have to keep Upton where he's been, and that is down against the Rockies. Just 2 for 25 this year against Colorado.
He grounded into 8 double plays so far this year, has Upton. Good speed, though. He's got to hit it hard.
Slider. One and one on Justin. Ojeda at second, he walked. Stephen Drew singled. He is at first. 4-1 Colorado. And the hard sinker. 2-1. This is where Upton's so much better than he was the first 3 weeks of the season, where he swung at everything.
Yeah, as soon as that ball left the pitcher's hand, he was up there hacking.
So Kirk Gibson and A.J. Hinch visiting.
Oh,
how much run was on that fastball?
About 1.5 feet worth of run. That's what it was, and he just couldn't even catch up to it. And this is where you really pronate that wrist, get over onto the side of the ball, and that ball just kept chasing him back underneath his hands. And Chris had a tough time just even hanging on to that ball.
Where do you go here, Hugh?
I go sinker down and away or a slider. Something away from make him reach.
He did. Line drive to Fowler, and it did get over his head. That was hit so hard. 1 run is scored. Green light for the trail runner. Tulowitzki's throw to the plate is not in time. Upton to third. It is 4-3. The ball was misjudged by Fowler. He did not realize how hard that ball was hit by Upton.
Well, he hit it so hard that ball was knuckling, and it just exploded on him. Hit it right on the screws, and you could see how much that ball moved. He started over to Dexter's left to his glove side, and he just got caught flat-footed. And they gave him a triple on that, but he just misplayed that ball. And then he has to go down and chase it from the Hyundai cam. You notice how he had to try to turn and then leap up, and still missed it by a couple feet.
And now 1 out, runner at third. Tracy at the plate, and it's bounced to first, foul ball. Rockies bringing the infield halfway. And just as we talked about, in a game that has been dominated by the Rockies and has the feeling like the Rockies are up by 6 or 7 runs, it's now a 1-run ball game, and that 1 run is less than 90 feet away, and you're in the 6th inning, and it starts to ring familiar to the last time Aaron Cook faced the Arizona Diamondbacks when he had a 3-0 lead and the Rockies couldn't hold it.
Yeah, it was
actually a 4-0 lead.
4-0 lead, wasn't able to hold it. And the other thing too is you got Tracy, who just kills Aaron Cook.
That's foul. And you know, it's not like you say, well, put him on, because there's a few guys in this Arizona lineup that you really don't want to deal with. For Cook, one is Tracy. The other guy is Mark Reynolds. He's got 25 home runs.
Yeah, and we saw what Jim Tracy wanted to do last night, put Reynolds on. Didn't want to have to pitch to him. Same thing. You got to try to get Tracy out here with something, keep it in the infield.
And he did. And the throw to first. The tip by Helton. Tracy's out. What a play by Todd Helton. What a throw by Troy Tulowitzki.
Well, this is the second spectacular defensive play we've seen tonight. Soft line drive. Troy goes to try to pick it, and then off balance, almost over where Ian Stewart is. And then Todd Helton. How magical is he over at first base? 3 gold gloves. He reaches out, works underneath the ball, and gets Tracy by a step. Man, it doesn't get any better than this. Todd just moves that feet over, and then the soft hands.
Give Troy Tulowitzki a lot of credit for the baseball acumen. Little things you file away, Jeff. You know this. He's got Tracy at the plate. He knows he's had knee injuries. He doesn't run well.
Right.
I mean, if that's Justin Upton, even out of the right side of the box, who hit that same ball, he's going to eat it.
Where was he when he let go of that ball, too? That was normal third base depth, where Ian Stewart makes many, many plays. But Troy able to barehand it, throw all the way across his body, and get it there in the neighborhood so Todd can pick it. Talking about picking it, how about that play from Chris right there? We saw that earlier in the ball game with Montero, not able to pick a ball, went back to the backstop. Rocky scored a run. That was a difference there. Chris was able to slide over and get it.
1-1 on Mark Reynolds. Strikeout and a double.
He's able to get Reynolds out here. We're going to come back to that 2-low play many, many times in the rest of the ball game.
2-1. Aaron's had to work harder in this inning than at any time in the first 5 innings. Upton at third, 4-3 game. Staying away from the power of Reynolds. Last time he did that, Reynolds lined a double to right. It's 3-1. Miguel Montero is on deck. He's the home run leaders in the National League.
Yeah, but also the other thing, though, that Reynolds can do is he can strike out. 125, 126 now because he struck out back in the second inning. 126 strikeouts.
He's ahead of his pace of last year when he struck out a major league record 204 times. Three and 2 on Mark Reynolds. He got it. In the inning, Arizona got a couple of runs on the Upton triple, but Aaron cooked 2 big. Pickoff earlier in the ball game of Mark Reynolds after he doubled, and there was a double later in that inning. How big was that pickoff in a 4-3 game now? That was the Croft Brewed Coors Light freeze can. So the Rockies need to add on. 4-3, bottom of the 6th. Ian Stewart, Seth Smith, Chris Iannetta, 2 lefties to begin against Clay Zavada. Second inning of work for Zavada in relief of Max Scherzer. Gave up 4 runs in 4 innings. 7 hits, walked 1, struck out 6, 95 pitches. Zavada has been scored on in 4 of his last 5 ball games. The opposition coming in over those 5 games, it hit .458 against him.
Let's take a look at another email from Ron. It says we'll explain the options that a player has going up and down from the majors to the minor leagues. Well, Ron, what happens is once you're put on the roster, if they option you out, you can be optioned out, say, as many times as you want during one season. It could be 6, 7, 8 times. It still only counts as one option. You have 3 options up and down, so basically 3 years before you can then become a free agent, or they have to keep you up on the big league roster or put you through waivers. So an option only counts one time during a particular season, no matter how many times you go up and down between, say, Colorado Springs and Denver.
So leadoff walk for Ian Stewart, and that'll bring up Seth Smith. So the Rockies, who did so well early in the baseball game, now find themselves one of those one-run affairs, getting to the later stages. Their execution's been outstanding. Needs to be again.
Yeah, it has to be, because you kind of let the D-backs back in the ball game, and maybe the leadoff walk from Ian Stewart, you can do some things. You can hit and run with a guy like Seth Smith. You can see what happens if you get a read, maybe try to steal a base. All those things kind of come back into play now for Jim Tracy.
Slow hook that's in there for a strike. Smith tonight is 0 for 2. He's getting it his time of night, though. Mr. Late Night. It is a final, by the way, in Atlanta, 8-1. The Braves beat the Giants again. Another strike.
I know the guys down in the dugout, they've already seen that score out there. We see Matt Daly getting loose, pitcher spot just a few doors down after Chris Iannetta. Garrett Atkins getting his stuff ready. We'll face the lefty. The first 15,000 fans through the gates on Sunday, July 26th will receive a reusable lunch cooler courtesy of King Soopers. Get your tickets to this game against the San Francisco Giants, and a big series at that, at all the usual places, including ColoradoRockies.com.
Runner going, hit and run, slash to second, 1 play for Ojeda. And that is to get Smith at first base. So the Rockies put Stewart in motion, and pays off. And now he's in scoring position with 1 out.
I talked about it right when Seth Smith walked up there. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can put the runners in motion, you can hit and run, and Seth hit that ball hard. But Augie Ojeda just gathered it right in front of him and then got the out. Chris Iannetta, 5 RBIs in the last 4 games.
Takes a strike, a single, and a walk tonight. 2 runs scored. All right, I'm looking at Clay Zavada. That mustache.
Raleigh fingers.
Well, I was going back to the Mexican revolutionary leader in the first part of the 20th century, Emiliano Zapata. Didn't play any baseball, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Same kind of stash, though.
Just not quite the handlebars that Raleigh fingers had, though.
No.
Just don't see one like that anymore.
No, you don't see that much anymore. 0-2 on Iannetta, high. half a swing, but mission accomplished. He's
Yeah.
still alive at the plate.
Half a swing, 3/4 of a swing, just a quarter swing. He's fouled it off. Zapata's come in and really kind of slowed the game down. The way the Rockies were swinging off of Max Scherzer, Zapata's come in and put the bats at bay somewhat.
Close. Windshield damage, don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000. Safelite.com is their website. Rockies trying to get a 2-run separation. 1 out, runner at second. And this ball down the first base line and just foul. Check another email. Ken at Grand Junction, what are some of the things the coach in the bullpen watches for during the warm-ups, Huey?
Well, he's going to look and see how the pitcher's doing. He also has a chart of who the pitcher that's warming up out there, and once they get going, who they might have to face. And Jimmy Wright, it's nice when you have either a former pitcher or former catcher out there to help work those pitchers through it.
Well, Iannetta got tied up in knots there. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Aaron Cook.
Changeup he cut, and that just tied Chris up. Off to the side of the ball, and he doesn't throw the straight change or the circle change. He'll work off, just put his 2 fingers closer together and throw it that way. Well, with 2 outs, Jim Tracy decides to go ahead and let Aaron Cook hit.
Aaron, ultra aggressive, swings at a pitch out of the strike zone. Lately, and really all year, the Rockies pitching staff, their starters have helped themselves. Aaron Cook, a good hitting pitcher, he's got 4 RBIs. Marquis leads the staff with 8. Last night, De La Rosa threw out a couple of RBIs. That was an idea. And now the snap throw to second, fortunately. Ian Stewart is back in safely.
We were just talking about the pitch that Zapata threw. Most of the time it's a circle change, or they'll go with the split or something like that. He just kind of puts these 2 fingers together and then just really kind of throws it like a football change is what they call it. Well, just throw it, but it has his fingers so close together that it'll come out of his hand that way. Just kind of offset the ball just a little bit. And that's exactly, I mean, you don't see many guys throw it like that anymore. They used to, and some kids are taught how to throw it because it's less strain on your elbow. But most of the time we talk about the circle change or the straight change, and that's how you throw it.
Foul tip, and that is held by Miguel Montero. So the Rockies leave Ian Stewart in scoring position. 6 innings completed, Coors Field. Rockies ahead 4. Seventh inning. This date in history is brought to you by Dex. Dex knows. July 21st, 1998, and Houston Rockies pitcher Mark Brownson makes a spectacular big league debut, firing a 4-hit, 5-0 shutout against a very good Astros lineup. Houston's first hit's in the 6th inning. The win snaps the Rockies' 9-game road losing streak. I was there. I remember it very well. His folks were in attendance there. And the wild thing, maybe the cruel irony of this sport, is I believe Brownson had one more big league appearance.
Yep, that was it.
But he can always, that's a shot up the middle. Montero with a base hit. He can always tell folks, not only did I make the big leagues, but I had a major league shutout. So Montero aboard for Chris Young. I'm sure for the Rockies, that last hit was a warning, and they're going to get some action in the bullpen. Darrell, has a major league player ever changed careers and become a major league umpire?
Darrell, there have been 39 guys that have done it. The last one to do it was William Kunkel, who retired in 1984, or Bill Kunkel. His son Jeff Kunkel was a former #1 pick of the Texas Rangers as a shortstop.
Interesting stuff. Single and a double tonight for Chris Young. And this is a pop-up. Barmes going back. Long run for Hop. Easier play for Barmes, and there's an out.
And Josh Whitesell will come up and hit now in the pitcher's spot. Franklin Morales, we've seen him quite a few times lately, being up now in the 7th and 8th inning. Jim Tracy decides not to use him. We'll wait to see Stephen Drew or Parra. Gutierrez up and tossing for the D-backs.
Yeah, Jim Tracy's going to go ahead and make the change right now. He's looking at Whitesell. Then Ojeda, who's hit better from the left side. Stephen Drew, Gerardo Parra says, I'm going to make it right now. Pitch count is just 91, but there were some balls hit pretty hard the last couple of innings against Aaron Cook. So Aaron leads with a chance to go to 7. Brought to you by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money, and by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. What do you want from your starting pitcher? An opportunity to win a baseball game, and Aaron Cook has given the Rockies that. 6 1/3. He's allowed 3 runs, responsible for the runner at first base. And he did a very good job, Huey, in the 6th inning with a runner at third and 1 out in a 4-3 game. He got Chad Tracy with great help from Tulowitzki and Helton. And then a strikeout of Mark Reynolds, their big slugger.
Yeah, he did, and that's why since you throw away his April numbers, where he's 1-1 and 7 ERA. Since then, he's 8-2 with a 2.95 ERA.
This call to the bullpen brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 800 Comcast. So for the first time, Morales working on back-to-back days. Though yesterday, he threw only 4 pitches, getting a double play ground ball.
Well, and that's okay, and that's why he's out here. You got the lefty and Whitesell coming up. You got Augie Ojeda, who you'll flip over to the right side, who's only hitting 103. After that, Stephen Drew and Parra. So you're going to have the lefty here, then a righty that his average not very good, 2 more lefties.
That just missed. 1-1 on Whitesell.
Gone out and around the plate.
Two balls and a strike. Look out. 3-1.
Chin music right here.
Not the count you want to deliver.
No,
chin
it's
music.
not. Fall behind 3-1, but now this opens up at least the middle part of the plate or middle away, because the hitter is left on left thinking I don't want that fastball inside again.
Ball 4. And now you have the tying run at second base in Montero. With Augie Ojeda, switch hitter, will step in from the right side. Morales has been very good working out of the pen. One of the questions about Franklin working in these situations going in, dominant stuff, but at times an inconsistent strike thrower.
Yeah, you got to be able to throw strikes coming out of the bullpen, especially late in the game, and he's demonstrated it since he's come back up, the ability to do that. Even if he walks the guy, he's found a way to then come back and make pitches.
And he misses there.
Well, good. I like what Troy's doing right now. This is where the veteran guy, and veteran, I say that like he's 32 years old, but veteran at the major league level now in 3 full seasons here, where he's coming up and saying, you know what, slow it down a little bit. Give us a chance to work behind you. The guy's not going to take you out of the yard. Just make your pitches.
2-0. So 6 of the first 7 pitches out of the strike zone. And Cook looking on with concern. Rockies now have been out hit 8-7 by Arizona.
They slowed everything down on that delivery at home. Didn't rush it quite as much. Allowed that arm to catch up and follow through.
Fouled off, out of play. Stephen Drew is on deck. He's 3 for 3. Juan Rincon is now up in the Rockies bullpen. 4-3, top of 7, 1 out.
That was
Close.
a
3-2 now. Ojeda hitting just 103 from the right side of the plate.
Yeah, no home runs, only 1 RBI from the overhead. That ball was outside just a little bit more than what it looked like originally.
2 for 31 runners in scoring position. Got to make a pitch here. 3-2. And it's ripped to left, and it is a foul ball. Wow. You got the bat head out on that pitch.
Our camera right down the line will be able to see this ball started fair, but it just was hooking so much because he got out in front of it. When you get the barrel too far out in front of your hands, that's when you'll get that hook action.
Ball 4, and now the bases are loaded for Stephen Drew. So Morales has come on, and he's walked 2 in a row. Whitesell just up from the minor leagues, left on left. He walked on 5 pitches, and the light-hitting Augie Ojeda, he has walked.
Yeah, both at bats now for Augie. He's walked. Bob Apodaca is out there to settle Franklin down. Stephen Drew in his career off of Morales, 1 for 4.
Yeah, this is where the Rockies are trying to shore things up. The bridge to Houston Street.
Yep. That's a tough bridge sometimes. But the good teams that have that guy to be able to get to your closer who's been so successful.
The thing is, you want to get hit. If you get beat, you want to get beat with the ball in play, not giving free passes out. Drew, a .213 hitter against left-handed pitching, and he strokes a single. He's 4 for 4. That'll tie it up. The runner at second stops Whitesell. It is 4-4. And a whole new ball game at Coors Field. Aaron Cook will not get the victory.
He didn't wait around. He just gets after that first ball. Franklin and missed his location. That ball was just thigh high inside part of the plate.
That's smart. I mean, you've seen him walk 2 guys in a row. He's got to get a pitch over the plate. It's going to be a fastball.
Well, and you've already had 3 hits tonight anyway, so you're seeing the ball good. It's just eerily familiar from what happened in the last series against the D-backs.
Yeah. Rockies comfortably ahead in this game 4-1. The last one was 4-0. And now you got another left-handed bat, Gerardo Parra, before Justin Upton. I don't know what it is about. There's certain players with the Diamondbacks. They see the Rockies and they become Ted Williams. Stephen Drew was in a slump when he came here. Last night a home run, a double. Tonight 4 for 4.
Yes, he did.
He went around. 0-2.
Arizona this year with the bases loaded, 227. Parra just 1 for 4. Well, that front side, I mean, everything was wrong with that swing. The weight transfer off onto that front foot. Throw it to him again. Same pitch. Don't mess around.
Won't hit him. 1-2. You know what? Morales and the Rockies are lucky that breaking ball was helmet high, because otherwise he's going to take that in the back.
Oh, exactly. If it's down by his hip, he'll just roll on it, take it on the backside, go to first base, get the RBI.
He got it. Big strikeout. So Parra's gone, 2 outs. You're far from out of the woods. And Morales is going to be removed from the ball game with Upton coming up. The Rockies will go with the right-hander, Rincon.
A little inexperience from young Parra to chase that fastball up.
Tie ball game in the 7th with 2 outs. Is at third. Ojeda walked. He's at second. Stephen Drew, an RBI base hit to tie up the game, is at first. Here's the situation. 2 outs. Justin Upton coming up, and Juan Rincon will be asked to get him in a 4-4 baseball game. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. The number is 800 Comcast.
Well, let's hope that the numbers hold true for Arizona. They're just 114 with 2 outs and the bases loaded. He's 4 for 35 on the season.
You know, Rincon is
customer, though.
Yeah, and Rincon's a guy that about 50% of the time throws his slider.
Yep, and Chris has to be ready for it if he's going to call it, and he has to call it.
It looked like more of a cut fastball.
Yeah, he just got off to the side of that ball a little bit. Didn't stay out in front and finish it. Just off to the side. The ball ran on him.
Upton is 1 for 3 and 3 RBIs tonight. Remember that line triple he hit to center field that was misjudged by Dexter Fowler. Ball was knuckling. Was not an easy play.
Yeah, it's still one that you look back on. Cost you a couple runs in a play that you've seen Dexter make.
Rincon and Ionetta trying to get on the same page.
What happened is sometimes at night when it's not completely dark, there's still just a little bit, you have trouble seeing the signs. And so he wanted him to flash the signs again to make sure that he doesn't think he's calling for a slider and Rincon throws a fastball.
Swung on and missed 1 and 2.
Well, he's mad at himself because he didn't finish that, but sometimes those backup sliders are one that stay up, don't break where the hitter thinks they're going to break, turn out to be the best pitch. That was a little backup slider. You didn't even see Rincon at the end say, hey, I need to finish it. Now look for him to try to work this one down and away, maybe get the swing and miss. Chris has got to be on his toes to block it. If he blocks it, all he has to do is pick it up, step on home plate.
Here's the 1-2. Hot foul out of play.
Well, 4 pitches so far from Rincon, 4 sliders. I'm betting a 5th right here, and then maybe a 6th. He gets that far.
Outfield straight up, infield straight up. I would assume he'll go away with the slider. Now Upton calling time. Juan Rincon, another one of those guys down in the Rockies bullpen that did not start the season with the Rockies. Swung out and missed on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. He crossed everybody up. Most importantly, he crossed up Upton. Arizona leaves him loaded. Tie ball game as we go to the bottom of the 7th. top of the order against Juan Gutierrez. And we visit with Alana Rizzo. Alana?
Thanks very much, Drew. I had an opportunity to talk to Jim Tracy earlier today about how nice it is to have so much depth on his team. He said, you know, it's certainly good to have options. One thing it has done for us is it's made us a better team. There's not a couple of people on this team, for example, like the San Diego Padres and Adrian Gonzalez and Kevin Kuzminoff, that think they have to do everything to get the win. And he's also maintained this. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, how as the season approaches towards the end, how the bullpen and how the bench players are going to play a critical role in the success of this Rockies team as the season comes down to the final games. He says, as long as we can continue to answer the opposition and the opposition's lineup, we'll be fine. Guys?
Dexter Fowler takes a changeup on the first pitch from Gutierrez. Ball one. Well, the Rockies do have a lot of depth. It is one of the strengths of this club. Dexter, a couple of RBI singles tonight. Looking to get on, and not a bad idea.
No, it's not. They try to lay down a bunt going towards the third base line, see if Reynolds can not make the play. Gutierrez fastball 93 to 97 miles an hour. That last one was 97. But you look what lefties are hitting, well over 300. Righties just 287. So gives up a lot of hits.
Snapped off that slider, 1-2. Slowly hit. Gutierrez has it, and he lobs to first. 1 out. You know, the Rockies' offense has been very quiet. Their last hit was the RBI single by Fowler back in the 4th inning. Since then, there are only 2 base runners: a Brad Hopp walk in the 5th, and a Ian Stewart walk in the 6th inning leading off. There's Barmes, 1 for 3, singled in the first, couple of strikeouts since then. And the slider's inside. Gutierrez has a good slider.
He does, and it's hard. You look at it, it's 83 to 85 miles an hour, and he'll really work it and finish out in front, try to get the late bite like that one.
He's a guy that has fallen behind in some counts. His last 3 1/3 innings, 4 runs allowed, 5 hits, 5 walks. He has the ability to get a strikeout. Here's the 2-0. Ball 3. You got to take all the way, force him to throw one in there.
Oh yeah.
Three and 1.
We didn't take anything off that to lay it in there. That was 96 miles an hour. Wow.
That was at 97. Big cut from Barmes. No baseball.
He's very deliberate when he goes to deliver home plate, and then everything becomes violent once that front leg lands and that arm comes through. Monday, Cam, when you work under the ball on a fastball, it was just mean you were late on your setup.
Inside, ball 4. Good speed aboard with 1 out. And Todd Helton coming up.
Greg asked a question, why was the home plate umpire covering third base on Ian Stewart's triple? Well, Greg, there's a rotation between the umpires. What happens, and we'll see it, the way the second base umpire here, he goes out that way. Okay, first base comes down here, third baseman's got to go there. A lot of different ways the guys are going to go.
Runner going, and Barmes steals second base.
Jump from Clint Barmes. They don't wait around. You get a little inexperience. Gutierrez out there, and you get the stolen base from Clint. Now his 9th stolen base on the season.
And now the go-ahead run out there. Right man at the plate. Helton tonight 0 for 3. And he's got a 2-0 count to work with. Just to finish your point on the rotation, the reason, and you were going to get to this, the reason the second base umpire has to go out and check on the catch.
Yeah, right.
Third base umpire goes to second if there's a double. Home plate to third, and then the first base, if there's a play at the plate, the first base umpire is going to come back down. Here's the 2-0. 3-0, Brad Hopp on deck.
I was a little surprised that they didn't have their other lefty, Scott Schoenweiss, up and ready to face the two back-to-back lefties, and then you could do something with Troy, and then you have two lefties after that. And Ian Stewart and Seth Smith. You know, rather than wait until the ninth inning when you might not even get a chance to get to him.
Interesting, because Schoenweiss wasn't used last night, so he's rested. Three-1, and it took something off. It's 3-2.
It takes some guts from Gutierrez, but he also realizes that he has first base open up. So if he could get Todd to swing and miss or something happen, well, that's okay. That's why he wasn't afraid to throw a breaking pitch.
This ball's fair. Todd trying to foul it off. A slider that would have been ball 4. Helton was just trying to chip it foul. 2 outs. Brad Hopp. And you figure, though, that they're going to pass on Hopp. In fact, Mel Stottlemyre, if you look at the Hyundai camp, Mel Stottlemyre is going to come out. They're going to talk about how to pitch to Hopp. All right, don't give him anything to hit. Stay away, 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 and we go right on right with Tulowitzki unless he gets himself out. And my contention always is, unless you have Greg Maddux out there, or Kurt Schilling in his prime, a guy that can hit the old Nats behind from 60 feet 6 inches, go ahead and put him on.
Yeah, because you've already put the winning run on base. He's already over at third base. So why, if you're going to pitch around him, why don't you go ahead and put him on, and then go, as you mentioned, Drew, go right on right.
Now, having said all that, I hope they do pitch to him.
Well, I do too, especially with Hopp's numbers with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, hitting .327. I mean, that's the other thing. And 26 RBIs. Now they're going to go ahead and put him on. So maybe that's all they were telling him is, we're just going to go ahead and pass on this guy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Unless they were talking about strategy to Tulowitzki, because if you're gonna pass on, you're not going to ask Juan Gutierrez what he wants to do.
No.
I mean, he hasn't earned that right.
No. So I understand what you're saying. Why not? To me, I would have waited to put the 4 fingers up, wait till he got to first base, then made the pitching move where you go out there and say, okay, we're going to pitch to Troy this way. Instead, you say, okay, we're going to walk this guy, and then you're going to pitch to Troy. But by that time, 4 pitches have gone by. The concentration maybe is not the same. I would have waited until after he walked the guy.
Tulowitzki tonight is 1 for 3. A home run to right in the 2nd inning. Remember early this season, Troy really struggled with runners in scoring position. At one point, he went 0 for 27 over a 5.5-week period, mid-April to the 3rd week of May, with runners in scoring position. He's been much better since then. But overall, the number's not good because of that tough stretch. Trying to come through here with 2 outs. When he gets the slider. Strike 1. Rockies have won 5 of 6, 9 of 12. Seems like every game with Arizona, for the most part this year, has been a battle.
It has been.
This ball to center field and playable for Chris Young. So the Rockies threaten but do not score in the 7th. 4-4 as we go to the 8th. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Chad Tracy, 0 for 3 tonight, leading it off against Juan Rincon. Nobody up in the Rockies bullpen. And he's ahead 2-0. Reynolds and Montero, the next couple of hitters. It's a tough threesome.
Well, it is, because you got the veteran guy, Tracy, who's, as we've talked about tonight and all through our broadcast when we play the D-backs, the way he has killed the Rockies, and Miguel Montero on deck, who's swinging a very hot bat, 350 almost since the last part of June.
Center field, and Dexter will get there. That's a big out. And you know Tracy's numbers against the Rockies. We document it every time Arizona comes to town. But Mark Reynolds has not exactly been a slouch against the Rockies, hitting close to 300 in his career with half a dozen home runs.
The thing with Reynolds too is he's so scary because he doesn't have to hit the ball on the meat part of the bat. You know, he can get it towards the label a little bit. He can get it off the end. He's just so strong and creates so much bat speed that he could hook a ball and still hit it out.
Yeah, I think last night, good point of it, Huey. I don't think he really squared that one up. And he was able to hit it over the left field wall. Shift is on. 3 on the left side. Here's the 0-1. Missed. 0-2. I remember the conversation late in spring training. You know, Reynolds was going to have a 2-strike approach where he's going to cut down on the swing. He is who he is.
Yep.
And that's not going to happen. He's going to hit a lot of home runs. He's going to steal some bases for you. He leads the club right now with 16. He's going to strike out a ton.
He is. He is what he is. I mean, he's not going to change a whole lot. And it's just something that the Diamondbacks are going to have to come to live with. That he is going to be the guy, as you mentioned, that strikes out a lot, but also puts a lot of balls over the fence.
Those are nice numbers. Stolen bases and home runs. 2 other guys have led the club. Devon White, their first year, and Eric Burns, great year he had in 07. This is a soft line drive, and over the head of Clint Barmas. So Reynolds reaches for Miguel Montero. Now that stolen base factor comes into play. Here's our Geico quote of the day from the great Joe Garagiola. It's pitching, hitting, and defense that wins. Any 2 can win. All 3 can make you unbeatable. Montero, a single and a run scored last inning. 1 for 3. Double play candidate. Rincon can get one on the ground.
We talked earlier in the broadcast about the job of a bench coach, and Tommy Reynolds right now giving signs to Chris, and the last one was with the base runner like Reynolds over there. Go ahead and just hold it for a while.
There's a strike.
There's Tommy. He'll flash some signs right now down the arm. All of those, when he touches a certain spot, maybe his ear or his nose, that will tell Chris what he wants him to do.
This ball's well hit right center field. Really well hit and gone. 2-run home run, Miguel Montero, and now the Rockies are down 6-4. And now, how eerily familiar is this ball game to the last one that Aaron Cook started against the Diamondbacks. The Rockies have blown a 4-1 lead. They trail 6-4 in the 8th. And we talked about this threesome. I don't care what their numbers were coming up. Montero's were really good, but against the Rockies, whatever they are, they always seem to be better.
Yeah, they just keep jumping up, and that was a slider. He went out and reached it and kind of hooked it, but still hooking it over the wall at about 400 feet. That takes some strength.
Chris Young ends up dragging a bunt right back to Rincon.
Well, no matter what your record is, you're playing to win the game, and Montero is pretty happy when he sees that ball going over the wall.
Alex Romero will come out and pinch hit in the pitcher spot, John Roush, who after really struggling has moved back into a setup role with Arizona. Struggled last year after the trade from Washington, but he's been good lately. He's going to pitch the 8th inning. Chad Qualls is their closer. This is fouled off and out of play. 6-4 Arizona. How about this? If you include the 6th inning and on last night, and you include tonight from the 5th inning on, the Rockies don't have a hit.
Yeah. Well, you got to give a little bit of credit to Zavada, but it seems like you got that lead, and all of a sudden you just kind of let down a little bit. Approach has changed at the plate. And even when you did have the opportunity with the walk, you just couldn't capitalize on it. You had a leadoff walk in the 6th inning, not able to come around and score.
Rockies in that last start by Aaron Cook on July the 7th. Got a 4-1 lead after 4. 4-0 lead, and then look out, one out of miss. It's the end of the inning. Bat goes flying. July 4th, I should say. And then gave up the lead at the top of the 8th. They've given up the lead tonight at the top of the 8th on the 2-run home run by Miguel Montero. Work to do. Ian Stewart to begin things. Inch John Roush will take the baseball here in the top of the 8th inning. The Rockies will have Ian Stewart, Seth Smith, and Chris Iannetta, and then a pinch hitter.
Well, we just saw the ERA from Roush, and you mentioned it just a few moments ago. Just a 1.69 ERA in his last 12 outings. Kind of got back to what he was able to do when he was with the Washington Nationals, and that's why the D-backs traded for him to be an 8th inning, 9th inning guy for him. It didn't work out that way last year, and to start this year it didn't either, but he's found his way again.
And he gets a strike on the first pitch. Rockies' last hit came in the 4th inning, a Fowler RBI single. They've had 4 base runners since then, all on walks. Stewart is 1 for 2 in a walk. If you're just jumping aboard, the Rockies scored 3 in the 2nd, added a run in the 4th. Aaron Cook cruising along. You thought it was going to be a comfortable night for the Rockies.
Yeah.
And They let Arizona back in.
Well, they just let them hang around close enough. They never really extended the lead, where after you got a lead, a comfortable lead, 3-4, you didn't add on. You didn't tack on, make it to a 6 or 7 run lead, where all of a sudden they kind of just don't throw in the towel, but it's a little too far for us to try to catch up.
3-1.
But you still got 6 outs to play with here in the 8th inning.
Ball 4. So Roush walks Stewart, and now the tying run comes to the plate in Seth Smith. Quick email from Joe: is Jim Tracy a lock for manager next year? Well, he's done nothing.
He hasn't hurt his case.
He hasn't hurt his chances. Montfort said, we'll handle that at the end of the season. They want to get through this season, but it seems like a great fit. Not a good fit, but a great fit. Jim Tracy's been marvelous. Seth Smith at the plate, and he takes a strike.
Looking down in the dugout right now, Ryan Spilborghs has his hat on, batting gloves. He's already been down in the tunnel behind the Rockies dugout, getting loose, so he's ready. He's just eyeing up the pitcher right now.
Toward the hole, gloved, and getting back was Tracy. Give him a lot of credit. Tracy dove, scrambled to his feet, and Augie Ojeda found him for the out.
Now that was a good play. Tracy comes off, makes the dive, and realized I got to try to get back pretty quick to get back to his feet, and Augie was able to lead him over to the bag. It's a good thing he got there, because I think it would have been a close play or closer play if Roush has to try to get over there with Seth Smith.
Iannetta tonight, single, walk, strikeout. 2 runs scored for Chris. And this is popped up down the right field line, and the catch was made. Chad Tracy, for a guy with bad knees, just made 2 very fine plays.
Very good play as far as he had to run for this ball. He missed some time with microfracture surgery of the knees, and that's why he's not been able to play. He comes back. He ranges a long way for that ball. Over the shoulder catch, reaches out in front of Justin Upton and makes the catch. That's 2 back-to-back plays that we've seen Chad Tracy make. And now Ryan Spilborghs is coming up to pinch hit.
The new daddy, Ryan Spilborghs, not with the club yesterday. He was with his wife, Stacy, who in the evening gave birth to their first child, a baby girl, Kiera Esperanza Spilborghs. And Esperanza, the middle name, the first name of Ryan's mom, who unfortunately passed away during spring training this year. Congratulations to the Spilborghs. Strike 1.
Esperanza means hope. Spilly not working on much sleep, but he's got a lot of adrenaline going right now.
We know that's the case.
Yep.
At third base is Ian Stewart.
Pretty good block from Montero that time, because that was a hard slider that was out in front of home plate. He got down onto both knees and blocked that.
Spilborghs, foul ball. Spilly 0 for 4 in his career against John Roush.
Last pitch, 84-mile-an-hour slider. So Roush is kind of unusual as a former closer, that he has 3 different pitches. He's got the fastball, he's got the slider, he also has a curveball that he'll throw up there.
Good job by Spilborghs waiting.
Yep, just think opposite field right now. Even though the Diamondbacks are playing him the opposite field, especially in the outfield, you still think about, I've got to look up the middle. There's plenty of area. I mean, look at all this area right in here to hit the ball.
This ball in the air to pretty deep right field. Upton going back, still going back, off the wall. One runner scored. Spilborghs will head to third. He'll get there easily. A triple for Ryan Spilborghs. And it's a 6-5 game. The proud Papa delivering. You talked about adrenaline. I think there was some adrenaline that allowed that ball to go a little farther toward right field, up and over the head of Upton.
Boy, he stayed on that, got it on the sweet spot of the bat, and adrenaline did take over, Drew, because that's what allowed it to hit it that far. And that ball just kept going. And when it first left the bat, I thought Upton might have a chance, but that hit almost 3/4 of the way up that auxiliary scoreboard. And Ryan knew it. I mean, he doesn't even hesitate. He comes around there. Easy stand-up triple. Oh, A.J. Hinch has seen enough. He's got to go out to the bullpen.
Yeah, he's going to ask his closer to get 4 outs.
Well, you know what? He did that last time here when the D-backs were here. Qualls came in and had to get a 4-out save.
Spilborghs comes through. We'll be back. And now it'll be Dexter Fowler to face Chad Qualls. And Dexter's been Mr. Clutch tonight with 2 outs.
First time he goes down, reaches out, and hits a base hit to right field to drive in Chris Iannetta. And he says, I can do that again. Driving in Chris Iannetta once more with a base hit to center field. And now they're going to get Chad Qualls. 17 saves, folks. That's a career high for him.
You know what? But in the closer category, and it's not to take a shot at Chad Qualls, but this is not Jonathan Broxton.
No, it's not.
And that ball line foul.
Yeah, I mean, his fastball is 92 to 96 miles an hour, but it's not that overpowering one that just feels like it's going to bore in on your hands. You're going to just blow up that bat. Still see it pretty good. He's just a 2-pitcher. It's just fastball or slider. You're going to get one or the other, and both of them are very hard.
Reynolds has to be in to honor the bunt at third, even with 1 strike. 1-1.
It also goes back with that hard slider, goes back to the pressure that Miguel Montero was on behind home plate.
I'll tell you where speed comes in, Huey, is, it makes Ojeda have to shorten up in case he full drags.
That's right, and even Stephen Drew at shortstop shortened up a couple steps.
This ball bounced to first. Tracy runs to the bag, and Qualls gets the final out. But the Rockies make it a one-run game on the Spilborgh's pinch hit triple, 6-5. Report on FSN Rocky Mountain. Here's Tom Helmer. Tom?
Drew, usually we have a few topics we like to key in on at this point. We're just going to talk about everything. This game just keeps changing. There is so much to talk about. We're going to try and break it all down for you after the game, but still, a lot of baseball to be played. We don't know how this one's going to end, so we're just going to talk about everything. Drew?
Sounds like a plan of sorts. Matt Daly will pitch the ninth inning. 9-1-2. Augie Ojeda is in the 9-hole for Arizona, and then it's Stephen Drew and Gerardo Parra.
He's just going to have to come in and try to keep this game right where it is to give your offense a chance in the bottom half of the ninth inning to come back. You can't afford to give up even one run in this situation because it's going to be a lot more difficult with Chad Qualls out there.
The Rockies will have Barmes help Hop at the bottom of the ninth. First things first. First pitch, she'll get it out. Next to Fowler. Ojeda's retired by Daly. That'll bring up Stephen Drew. He's been a pain in the neck tonight. 4 singles, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. The Diamondbacks have scored in 4 of the last 5 innings. And in the inning they did not score. They had 2 doubles, and if not for a pickoff of Mark Reynolds by Aaron Cook and Troy Tulowitzki, they would have scored in that inning.
Yeah, they just haven't let up tonight. The offense for the D-backs, and you got to give a little bit of credit to the guys they brought into the bullpen. They just haven't quit. They've kept it going.
Tell you, a team that's kept it going. Philadelphia in extra innings scored 3 runs. They beat the Cubs 4-1. 10 straight victories for the defending world champs.
Just kind of opening a big lead out in that National League East.
Fouled off, 2-1.
Hey, behind-the-scenes tours of Coors Field are available Monday through Saturday and give you the chance to see areas of the ballpark you can't see during a game. Group and individual tickets are available. Call 303-ROCKIES to get a Coors Field tour today.
Two and two. Peeking ahead again to the bottom of the ninth. Clint Barmes against Chad Qualls, 0 for 9. Todd Helton's 1 for 6. Brad Hopp is 2 for 6.
You got the right guys up. I don't need to throw that 0 for 9 with Clint out the window because that's in prior years. Break. 3? Guess not.
No, guess not.
They didn't ask for my opinion. It was that hip side fastball. Starts on the inside. And looked like it might have caught the inside part of the plate. Didn't really move his glove at all. Chris held it there.
And the 3-2 misses. So Drew's been on 5 times tonight.
Oh, look at the overhead from that previous pitch. That was inside. You got to give a lot of credit to Gary Darling. He didn't bite on it.
Gerardo Parra 0 for 4 tonight. Last couple of at-bats have resulted in strikeouts for Parra. Stephen Drew, an occasional base stealer.
Yeah, I wouldn't really look for him to run. If they're going to do anything, they might hit and run with Parra. But with 1 out, some of the guys you have coming up after him in Upton, Chad Tracy, Mark Reynolds, those type of guys, run yourself out of the inning.
Oh, 2.
Quick move over to first base. That just takes quick feet. That's where you get the pickoffs.
Aaron Cook and Max Scherzer both will get no decisions. The 2 starting pitchers in tonight's ball game. Again, the 0-2. Cook went 6 1/3. Franklin Morales went 1/3 of an inning. Walked 2, gave up a hit, struck out a batter. Franklin struggled with command. Juan Rincon went an inning and 1/3, gave up a couple of runs, a 2-run home run to Miguel Montero. And now Matt Daly.
Let's see if Daly goes back inside with the fastball or tries to work away to Parra, who doesn't seem to handle the ball away quite as well as the one in.
Two. 3-2.
Really put him in motion now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and start, stay out of the double play, start the runner. And a base runner too. You don't have to worry about getting a big jump because you're putting the onus really on the hitter to make contact.
There he goes, and it's in the air to center field. Well hit. Fowler, though, is going to get back and make the catch. And that'll bring up Justin Upton.
Right-handers are just hitting 133 this year off of Matt Daly. time that Justin Upton has faced daily in his career.
That's kind of strange. Upton got in the box. Something must be bothering him all of a sudden. He may have got a stitch in the side because he stepped in and then he immediately called time.
Just kind of looked like his back is hurting or something, because the way he walked out of the box and then kind of grabbed his back or his backside.
I hit the window right below us of the writer's press box.
Scared me for a second. I thought you were going to go out the window, try to catch that.
Not going anywhere.
No, stay in your seat.
The 1-strike pitch to Upton's outside, 1-1. Dodgers are underway in the 4th and more than one way at Dodger Stadium. They lead the Reds 9-1.
A lot of fastballs. I'd go something soft, maybe a changeup.
He went with the changeup there, but he missed inside.
Yeah. It's more of a little run on that changeup and then any sort of action going down.
Crowd of 30,248. 40,000 last night. 2-2 on Upton. He's got it. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies trailing 6-5. And this will be the group that'll try to get after Chad Qualls. Barmes, Helton, Hop, and perhaps some more. He is 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. He has a stolen base in the ball game, and he'll lead things off against Chad Qualls.
If you're wondering if Jim Tracy's going to have him take a strike, I don't look like he would, because Chad Qualls has only walked 5 guys in 38 in the 3rd innings, or 39 now. If you get a first pitch fastball, go ahead and swing.
Pitch misses, ball 1. Again, going back on Qualls, not a dominant type closer. The league's hit .268 against him. Most closers there, the average against is below .230. 2-0.
One thing you can do too is he can get wild occasionally, you know, within the normal range of a strike zone. So if you're patient and get him back into your zone, you will get a pitch to hit.
Barmes taking, and it was in there for a strike. 2-1. Outfield straight up and fairly deep for Barmes. Reynolds close to the line at third. Pretty significant hole between short and third. And Barmes hits it in the air to right field. Easy play for Upton. That'll bring up Todd. Helton tonight is 0 for 4, which of late has been most unusual. Helton 1 for 3 last night. Came in hitting .419 over his previous 9 ball games.
Outfielders have moved back now for the Diamondbacks, playing no doubles, nothing over their head.
On the corner for a strike.
I'm a little surprised down at first base that Chad Tracy's playing so far off the line.
Very surprised.
Yeah, I mean, even Mark Reynolds, the infielders are not playing no doubles down the line. That's unusual. You just don't see that very often.
Helton drives it to center field, but it's playable for Young. 2 outs. And Brad Hopp, the last hope right now for Colorado. A strikeout, a triple, a walk, and then an intentional walk. Tomorrow, Ubaldo Jimenez and John Garland. It's an afternoon affair.
Got his rally cap on. He still believes. A guy like Brad Hopp, one swing's all it takes. Oh, good swing. Right on that fastball, 95.
Rockies have 1 hit. That was a Spielborg's triple since the 4th inning. And last night, though they did a ton of damage early, 10 runs, they didn't get a hit after the 5th inning. And this is going to be the ball game. This is a disappointing one. The Rockies had a 4-1 lead, never added on. Arizona caught the Rockies and passed them, and they get a 6-5 win, and they'll play a rubber game tomorrow afternoon. So the Diamondbacks, despite all of their struggles this year, lead the season series with the Rockies 6-5, and as they did 2 weeks ago over the 4th of July, they win a ball game against Aaron Cook when they were behind, and behind by a fairly significant number. So again, the final score, Arizona comes back and wins 6-5 tonight at Coors Field. Post-game report is next.